Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
Do you know how you caught me? The reason you caught me, Will, is we're just alike. If you want the scent, go smell yourself.
This is episode 295, recorded October 1st, 2025.
Gruesome Magazine.
My name is Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, actress and YouTuber. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm great. It's October. Yay.
You got a decided red tint to you today here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so maybe my red light is like a little bit turned, and then I think the blue light fell. So it's not. That's why it's down at the bottom.
That explains
That's
it.
all right.
So that's what happened.
I was just wondering if maybe you were from the angry red planet, but that's another story. Podcast we did for classic.
So I will tell you, I have been watching more 70s movies, so that's something.
Okay, that's something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who else is with us? Oh, there's Chad Hunt. How you doing, buddy?
Nice shirt.
Thing.
Yeah.
Comic book artist.
Just tired.
He's
I
the
get it.
co-host of all of us Decades of Horror things. So, Chad, I don't know. I need one of those tingler buzzers I can hit under your seat, right?
Tingler, but what?
Well, from the movie
That
The
sounds-
Tingler.
Yeah, that sounds
Castle, but
creepy.
Oh, okay. Thanks for
buzzers
clarifying
under
that.
the
Yeah,
for us.
please.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you thought I was going to buzz
Yeah.
your tingler.
Yeah,
That
go
was-
tingle yourself.
Anyway, last but not least is Bill
Holy
Mulligan,
moly.
writer, director, special effects guru, all-around nice guy, and published author and owner of a Gruesome magazine, 3D printed eyeball.
Look into my eyes. You will buy my book. Wrong. You will buy two. Boy, if only that worked.
Buy 6, keep one in every room. Okay.
That's right.
Decades of Horror and Gruesome Magazine are partnering with Play Now Media on several of their channels. Decades of Horror, the 1980s, is on Wicked Horror TV. And we have a promo code for you on that. They're a kind of a niche streaming channel company that has, I don't know. I think he told me they have over 100, but that might be because of different apps and all the different services. But anyway, he's got a lot of channels. I know there's at least 50 because I counted them on their website. But with this promo code DOH80, DOH all caps 80, you will get 20% off your first payment. If you sign up for the monthly plan, it's $7.99, so you get $1.60 off your first month. If you sign up for the annual plan, which is $60 a year, you would get $12 off. It'd be $48 for a year, which is a heck of a deal, I think. And they got a lot of nice movies there. So anyway, check that out. And even if you just want to find out more about the channel, go to the channel and look, because you can watch things without subscribing or paying. You'll get ads and you won't get some of the premium content. You can also register, and then it will remember who you are and remember where you are on individual movies as you maybe get interrupted and have to come back and watch it another time, or even on a different device. Or finally, you can pay the subscription and you get to see everything, no ads. And our episodes are on there, so check them out. On this podcast, we start by giving some basic details of the film we're covering, followed by each of our first impressions of the movie. Then we get into some marketing info like taglines and posters that were used to try to get people in the seats. And then just, general discussion on whatever trips our trigger.
Trips are trigger. I've said that quite a few times today, just so you know.
I do that. And spoiler alert, we talk about the whole movie. We talk about the ending. We do everything. So if you haven't seen this movie, you should go watch it. It is streaming in some locations, although you know how it bumps around from month to month. So our topic for this episode is Manhunter from 1986. And who is that, Chad?
That is, man, my brain is fogged up, but it's the guy from The Thing.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, the guy with the messed up hands.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Can't remember his name off the top of my head.
It drives me nuts. I was going to look that up ahead of time, and you know how it is when your computer
I
doesn't
didn't realize that. He's my favorite.
do what you want him to do. Yeah, he's holding up a set of teeth that they got off a victim here. Bennings.
Bennings.
Neat.
Anybody seen Bennings?
Peter
Brrr.
Maloney.
What
Peter
the-
Maloney.
Fudge. What is happening?
Anyway, this movie, Manhunter, I had to put that up because he's in this movie, and he's apparently a dental forensic expert. Directed by Michael Mann. The screenplay is written by Michael Mann, based on Thomas Harris's 1981 novel Red Dragon. The cast includes William Peterson, Kim Greist, Joan Allen, Brian Cox, Dennis Farina, Stephen Lang, and Tom Noonan. Production company is De Laurentiis Entertainment Group and Red Dragon Productions. Filming locations, well, they moved around: Florida, Georgia, Illinois, North Carolina, Missouri, Washington, D.C. They started filming on September 9th of 1985. It was released August 15th, 1986. The budget is estimated to be $15 million, but the domestic box office only comes in at $8.6 million.
Womp womp. Too bad.
The synopsis: former FBI profiler Will Graham returns to service to pursue a deranged serial killer dubbed the Tooth Fairy by the media. And that's true.
Which
Yeah.
really actually is a dumb name. That he's the Tooth Fairy.
Sure.
I mean, that's silly.
Well,
He wasn't wrong there.
He bites them. He bites them. That's all we could say. I
But
mean, they could have
still,
called him
that's-
Jaws. I mean, you know.
I mean, that would have been much better. I mean, Tooth Fairy's dumb. Like, it's like, if he didn't take a single freaking tooth, then that's just silly, y'all. Come on, come up with something better.
Well, he wasn't too happy about it either. So
No, that's
Exactly.
true.
That's why I said
He definitely had
wasn't
his
wrong
own name
there.
for himself.
Yeah.
So this was Bill's pick, and it's time for
Mhm.
first impression. So, Bill, why did you pick this, and when did you see this, etc.?
I picked this movie because I love this movie. I did not see it in the theaters, but it pretty quickly went to HBO or one of those channels, and I saw it and couldn't believe how good it was. Ran out and got the novel, read that, and it was also great. And I thought then, as I thought now, the only thing wrong with this movie is there should have been more Dr. Lecter in it. And I guess Thomas Harris agreed, because when he wrote the sequel, he made darn sure that Dr. Lecter was front and center. And when he wrote a sequel to that, it was actually all about Dr. Lecter. So I really enjoyed this movie. It's got that cool Miami Vice kind of vibe thing going. So it's beautifully photographed. It's really well acted. Brian Cox. Now, I love Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Lecter. I really do. But for my money, the character is very different in this. And I think Cox knocks it out of the park. He's not a
Oh.
cartoon character. He's not a supervillain. He's just a really angry serial killer who is the smartest guy in the room. And, you know, even though he's in jail, he can figure out a way to hurt you and really wants to. The malevolence that is dripping off of him in every word he says, it's like you could tell it's all it can take to hold it in and not. He's so angry that he got caught. It's great. Francis Dollarhide in the book is a much more three-dimensional character than he is here, because we go into what made him what it was, and it's absolutely awful. He was horribly abused as a child. It's a wonder he isn't crazier than he is. But Noonan does a really good understated job. He's terrifying without being a mustache twirling villain. If anything, his demeanor, his calmness, and almost sensitive nature makes him even scarier. It's and when I look at it now, I realize, boy, the CSI police procedurals that have basically taken over television owe an awful lot to this movie. It feels like a really good budget CSI episode. And we this is not the first movie to do it, but it's the first one that actually had the kind of forensics that made me believe they could do the things they were doing. The scene where they take the little bit of paper and are able to get the message out of it, really just super well done. It's a great movie. Now, it's a Dino De Laurentiis production, and they just could not catch a break. Every movie that studio just burned through money and could never figure out what to do. Most of their stuff wasn't very good. This one was very good, but it feels like too many cooks spoiled the broth here. Manhunter is a stupid title. Red Dragon's a great title. Apparently, there was another movie that came out with the word dragon in it, and it didn't do very well. And Hollywood, in its infinite wisdom, said, aha, people don't like the word dragon. Boy, they just clutch at straws to explain everything. This is also how John Carter, Warlord of Mars, became John Carter, because Mars Needs Moms didn't make any money. And they're like, oh, people don't like the word Mars. You're idiots. You're just complete idiots. Manhunter is so bland and boring and tells you nothing. And the posters, for the most part, were also super uninspired. So I really do blame marketing, because as I recall, the critics enjoyed it a great deal. It's got a lot to offer. It's been basically forgotten. Silence of the Lambs came out. I mean, they decided to make a sequel because the book did so well. And people love Silence of the Lambs and didn't even realize this was the second movie in this series. The actors were different and all. But so then they went back and made Red Dragon because no one had seen Manhunter. So they just remade this movie as Red Dragon. And Red Dragon is good, but I prefer Manhunter still.
Wow.
Even though
That's
Red Dragon does.
A hot take.
It is a hot take, but I prefer it. And although they did fix the one thing that I wanted, Red Dragon definitely has a lot more Dr. Lecter in it, because if you're paying Anthony Hopkins type salaries, you're going to get your money's worth. So I liked it. It holds up. I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it again, knowing everything that's going to happen. But this is pretty good. And boy, it sure does feel 80s. This is an 80s movie. It wears 80s on its sleeve. 80s is pouring out of its pores in a good way.
Pouring out of its pores. Okay. Excellent. Crystal Cleveland, how about you? When did you see this? And
It wasn't, okay, so I thought that maybe I hadn't seen this film, but I wasn't thinking about what the film was. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course I've seen this film. So I didn't watch it as a kid. I watched it sometime after Silence of the Lambs came out. So I think that probably reinvigorated this movie somewhat, at least a little bit for some people. So, so I will say, I do love this movie. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. However, it's nothing. It is absolutely dog shit compared to Silence of the Lambs and Red Dragon. Oh my God. Those two films, I mean, Red Dragon is just freaking, you really get into the mind of the killer, which I love so freaking much. And the acting in that, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that Bill said about the Hannibal Lecter here, because honestly, he's boring. I mean, I'm more scared of a freaking mouse in my house than that guy, but I don't mind the movie. I love the movie. I need to say that. Like, so it's going to sound like I'm downing the film, but I'm really not. It's just that, well, Silence of the Lambs is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it is.
I agree.
An absolute freaking masterpiece. So it's hard to compete with that. And Red Dragon, while not as good, is Ralph Fiennes, I think, off the cuff, is, when you look at his face, I can read him completely. This guy just looked like he had nothing in his head, and just kind of oh, you think I'm gay? I mean, I didn't feel anything from these these performances. I will say Will's performance in this movie is my favorite performance out of the entire cast. I think he's phenomenal. What I find very interesting about it is I think that if you watch it, you can see where Hugh Dancy and I believe Jodie Foster kind of took from his performance, probably watched it and took points from his performance, because I can see little things that were done in both, which is, I think, very fascinating. I mean, he did do a great job. Just the way that he watched and accepted things, I just loved it. Obviously, they toned some characters down, and which is fine. I mean, I get it, I mean, it is what it is. I will say that when people talk about Silence of the Lambs not being a horror film, I think they're absolutely insane and crazy. However, if we're talking about this, Manhunter, which the reason why it's called Manhunter, obviously, Bill, because they're manhunting. That's what we've got a manhunt for this. I mean, I think that was a really popular word around that time. It feels like ye yonder days, they used money. We've got a manhunt out for blah 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 blah. So I guess I thought they were going to like take on that, and it is appropriate. That is what they're doing. But this one does not feel like a horror film like the others do. So I can see how some people would say that. But Silence of the Lambs, come on, y'all, come on. And Red Dragon is scary. I don't care. Just the tattoos, just the way that the characters are shown. There's a lot more horror in the newer films than there are here. Love this movie though. It sounds like I just pooped all over it, and I love it. I do. Okay, I just can't compare it to its predecessors because they just upped the game. I mean, a lot of it is that what?
Successors?
Yeah. Oh, I said predecessors, didn't I? I'm such an idiot. Thank you.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah. Sorry. I was like, but they upped the game so far. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, a lot of it is, if you notice, there aren't a lot of close-ups. There isn't a lot that's like drawing you into the shots. Maybe that's part of it, because I didn't really feel for the characters. I think we're too distant from them a lot of the time. So I think a lot of that has to do with cinematography. But yeah, I do love this film. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, this will be.
I think this is a big one. Yeah.
All right, Chad. What do you think of this movie?
I like Manhunter. I was a fan of Miami Vice in the day, and I liked Michael Mann's directorial style. But if you've seen any episode of Miami Vice, I feel like you've seen Manhunter. I mean, he takes that style a little bit into Manhunter, when I think he should have really have gone a different direction in it. Because Miami Vice has all these dark themes and brooding characters and that kind of thing. It reminded me too much of Miami Vice, I guess, in a way. But I do like Manhunter a lot. I mean, I first saw this before I knew anything about Silence of the Lambs and Red Dragon and the remake or any of those. So I watched this. It was on TV, and I can't remember. For years, I thought this was a made-for-TV movie. Probably the Michael Mann thing, but I agree with Bill on Brian Cox's Hannibal Lecter. It was, you got the feeling he would have crossed that space in a heartbeat and killed Will at any moment. You could feel that in him, like that anger Bill's talking about. He was like seething almost, but it's a controlled seething, I guess you would say. And so I thought Brian Cox, and I'm a big Brian Cox fan. I like just about anything he's in. And even though when I first saw it, I didn't recognize him at all. Really, his hair was darker and that kind of thing, and slick back. But I like it. I like William Peterson. I've always liked him back in the day. I can't think of much he was in that I didn't like. I thought he did a great job as Will. And it was you could buy him. I bought him as that character, no doubt. And Tom Noonan, Frankenstein from the Monster Squad, that's where I know him from. But in RoboCop 2, and he's been in a lot of stuff Tom Noonan always plays such a great villain. And same here, but it's more of a quiet evil, I guess you'd say. Tom Noonan isn't that boisterous of an actor, or he sort of talks like this and whatever.
Yeah.
But the words he says and the way he says it like that holds a lot of gravitas. He sounds very threatening without being threatening, if that makes any sense. And so I love those. I love the characters. And this is what got me to pick up Silence of the Lambs, and therefore, which is out of I'll say there's 3 movies. I don't like Hannibal Rising or whatever, but Hannibal being the least of the 3 that I like, even though there's some great stuff in it. The Red Dragon remake was always story-wise what I liked, even though Silence of the Lambs was a better movie. The story in Red Dragon, for some reason, really captured my imagination for some reason. But yeah, this is a great movie, and whether I thought it was a TV movie or not, I still enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, I still love this movie a lot.
Oakley dokley.
Neighbor.
This may be the Bill and Jeff Admiration Society or Love Fest or something. I love this movie. I love this movie.
I mean, I liked it.
I like Red Dragon. To me, they're like 2 totally different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked at Walden Books throughout the 80s, and the book Red Dragon, the hardcover, showed up on the bargain table. You know, it was majored out. It was probably $3 or something, and I bought it. Holy cow! I'm not sure if I've ever done this before. I stayed awake all night and read the whole thing. I couldn't put it down.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's absolutely amazing. And so I was already tuned in when the movie came out. Of course, there's a major change in it, and that's okay. You know, I don't know if by then or not I was okay with changes. I do see how there's a lot of talking. There's a bunch of times where he does this thing where, so that you know his thought process, he talks out his thoughts out loud, you know. And if you've ever been around me or my wife, when we're working, doing something, we're talking out loud all the time. But not everybody thinks that's normal. But it just does seem like there's a lot of talking where they're explaining things. But at any rate, I was still engrossed with it. What I love about it, okay, Crystal, I think all the acting is great, and I absolutely love the cinematography and the different choices on some of the shots. I mean, for example, just the ending sequences when he comes running and crashes through the window. I was just and the entire section of the movie,
like action.
Where Inagata DeVito is playing. I had goosebumps the whole time.
I can't listen to that song without seeing shots from this movie.
Oh, well, I want to say that was was that from 68, late 60s, but that was huge back then.
Oh yeah.
It was like, oh my God. The whole side of the album is one song.
My parents had that
17
album.
minutes long. Oh my God. And I think it's stuff like that really made FM radios succeed, because AM radios would never play anything like that if it was longer than 3 or 4 minutes. But FM would play anything, because then, you know, the DJ could go to the bathroom and do it, you know,
get married, have kids. Yeah.
Anyway,
grow a beard.
So I don't love all the music, because some of the music is. I'm not a big 80s music person. I'm not saying it's all bad. It's just the kind of stuff that's in here with the electric drum and stuff, I never really cared for that. But I think it all works. I think, and the original music I thought worked really well in building tension. And I noticed some things I wondered if people like Oz Perkins had followed that, because his movies a lot of times have, it's not really even music. It's sort of a low buzzing, humming thing that, that builds tension. And I noticed that in some parts here. And there's character actors up the wazoo, which I haven't done a ton of research, so I won't bore Chad too much with it, but I do have a couple of pictures. Anything else? I think I'll stop there. I'll probably remember later. So those are our first impressions. But now,
yeah.
Now we're going to find out why this movie did not make money.
There's another thing that we do called Taglines with Chad. Part of Chad will be played by Chad his own self. Oh, before you start, Chad, since you missed it, what's your impression of Wolfen? Speaking of Tom Noonan, as a matter of fact.
I love Wolfen. Even though it tricked me when I was a kid and I thought it was a werewolf movie.
Yep.
I love Wolfen. I love everything about it. I love the story. I love, the characters in there. Edward James Olmos, Albert Finney. I mean, for Pete's sake, I loved it. I love Wolfen, and I'm sorry I missed that one, but because I love that movie so much. But I love it. I like it a lot.
We loved it too. So we were sorry you missed that one, because I was pretty sure I knew you liked it. At any rate, taglines with Chad.
Taglines for Manhunter are enter the mind of a serial killer. You may never come back.
That's fine. I mean, okay.
Sure.
The changing.
Will Graham has the mind of a psychopath. Thank God he's on the right side of the law.
Oh, that sucks. That's just terrible.
Yeah. It might be the reading. It might be the delivery, but not great. Okay.
And he smells like one too.
He's got the mind of a serial killer and the body of an Olympic swimmer.
Yep.
It's just you and me now, sport. That's the tagline.
What?
I'm not just saying that.
That is a line in the movie.
It is a line in the movie, but without context, it's dumb.
That's dumb.
You and me, sport. Who are you, the Great Gatsby?
Yeah, it could have been the reading.
Silly.
No, it's not.
Hannibal Lecter's legacy of evil begins here.
Who? Okay, so that was clearly put there after Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
They're definitely
we gotta make some money on this thing. So.
Hannibal, who was he? Was he the guy with the elephants?
Well, anyway. And you know what? That's been Taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
So we'll take a look. Let's take a look at these posters Bill was talking about, and I'm totally in agreement with you.
Yeah. Okay. This is like every generic blockbuster action movie thing. It's got a guy, I don't recognize him. He's pointing a gun right at me. Rent this movie or I'll kill you. And Manhunter. Okay.
And this is another thing they do. There's this motif of torn paper.
Yeah.
That makes sense with the movie, but not on the poster.
That was an 80s thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually says now available on video cassette. So
good.
I don't know if that's an ad or maybe it was
newfangled invention.
So here's another one that's got William Peterson on the front. There's the second one. What?
Happy good day, hombres.
What is that? Is that House of? What is that?
That is a fucking. What is wrong with this? Is wait. Why are they doing this? What are they trying to sell this movie as? Like what is it supposed
What
to
does
be?
it say there? Will Graham, agent of the FBI, tiene un sexto
Hold on, I got to get up close.
sentido.
Wait,
Will-
what?
Looks like he's about to shoot him right in the crotch.
Like what? Like okay,
I
I
don't know.
get it.
I didn't
Like
translate it
he's
either.
like he's like a hunter. I get it, but like, oh, sorry, I'm talking really loud to the.
well, that's like that, and
I
that's what the
get close
title
to read it.
means is Hunter of Men. So
No,
Yeah, but
that's a bad pose too. I think you would fall on your
is
ass if you actually tried to assume that pose.
this is.
Well, that guy on the
God,
ground
and
tried to do it. And
look-
he fell down.
Yeah, see, yeah.
Okay, look at the crotches. Okay, what is happening here?
That's the first thing. He's like
Dueling crotches.
yeah, that sounded really sexy when you put
Down
your
to
mouth
his
right in front of the
crotch.
microphone and said that. Look at
Look
this.
at those
Oh.
crotches.
You killed my
The whole
crotch.
thing is crazy. Like this poster, it looks like they're actually like it almost looks like they're in like a coliseum
Yeah,
zoo
yeah.
or something. I am fascinated by this poster. This might be one of the greatest posters.
Duel
I've
of the
seen
corduroy
because it's
pants.
ridiculous.
Oh, I know what
Like,
I'm getting Crystal for her birthday now.
Corduroy pants?
What on earth?
Yes, corduroy
And-
pants.
I don't know. I'm fascinated by this. Like,
It's the crotches.
I was going to get her corduroy pillows because I've been hearing they make headlines.
Well, and the translation of that is FBI agent has a sixth sense.
Oh, sexto means six. Yes, it does. Oh, that shows you where my mind goes.
That's where mine went too.
Oh, that's the funny thing. In some countries, this was called the Sixth Sense.
which makes sense.
Yeah,
But he doesn't really. Like, he's
Oh.
not.
he doesn't
like,
see
I
dead
would
people.
say
I shoot
would
dead
say-
people.
in the show
Mhm.
and in Red Dragon, I feel like the Will seems like he's more in the minds of these people than he did here. But a lot of that is the fact that it was after the 80s and they
Right.
shot a lot more. It's probably higher budget. So you know how they showed like in his mind or something. It's just there it is. It's just you and me now. Okay, so see, it doesn't seem as stupid here.
Yeah, yes, because we're seeing both of them. and
Right,
Mhm.
right.
this
Like,
is
I
an
don't hate it.
interesting
Well, this poster-
poster.
Poster number 3. This is the one that I remember
Hmm.
as a more regular poster.
It just feels. I mean, the poster is actually kind of cool, but here's where the title and the font and it just seems very meh.
Well, it's really too bad they screwed with the title.
Yeah.
Especially when they had such a great book to draw on. I have no idea how well it did, but
Yeah.
it
Well,
was,
now part of it is also it might be because they edited it out. They wasted a good deal of time and money putting a tattoo of the Red Dragon on Tom Noonan, and then edited all those scenes out. So we were unaware that he had this, and the actual Red Dragon thing is not really in the movie
think
much.
that the truth is, I don't think anyone would have understood what Red Dragon was at the time. Like, it
They edited
sold
that out too,
after
probably.
Silence of the Lambs because you knew it was another film in the series, but this came out. No one. Come on, y'all. Like Red Dragon. What's that? That sounds like a Bruce Lee movie. Come on.
Well,
Like,
I'll tell you.
Think about the time.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
like that. It was actually probably in their best interest to call it Manhunter. And I'm just thinking about the
Okay.
time.
Switching
Yeah.
over. All right. So
Yeah.
here's a cover of the novel, and it's got that thing here. So the title Red Dragon comes from a verse in Revelations. And
Mhm.
behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And that's Revelations 12, verse 3 and 4 from the King James Version. But you open up the cover of this book, and the frontispiece is a grayscale of one of William Blake's pieces of art, which I'm just going to throw up there right now.
Pretty
those-
amazing.
They are. And the top 2 are what is it? The Great Red Dragon and the woman clothed under the sun, or something like that. I know I'm butchering that up. The bottom left is the Beast Under the Sea, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And the one on the bottom right is 666, the number of the beast. But they all
went that away.
They all feature that same character. And the top two is somewhat the same painting, only just different poses, different orientations. And they really, especially this one on the top right, I know you got that in here, Bill, but that's really what they recreate in the one scene where he's crawling on Reba, the blind woman that he's got a relationship with. Those are just awesome. I think it's the one in the top left that's in the front of the book. I'm not entirely certain.
Now, in both the book and the remake Red Dragon, they actually have a scene where Dollarhide manages to somehow get to the Museum of Modern Art and is allowed to look at the original painting, and he eats it, which I got to say, when I read the book, that was the one thing that kind of took me out of it. And I was glad they took it out of the movie, and I was sorry they put it back in, because it just seems so implausible.
So we do get some letters. The letter that he writes to Lecter, that Francis Dollarhide writes to Lecter, and he calls himself the Great Red Dragon. He's not a tooth fairy or whatever it is. So another poster.
Blood Moon, I think that is.
And
What?
It kind of sounds Scottish. Well, I'm sure that's German. Or
that's wild.
I was not good at. Oh wait, I think I did.
This looks like a James Bond movie.
Looks like the sequel to Logan's Run.
Let's see. Blutmond is German. Blood Moon. So kills at the moons.
Yeah,
etc.
But not a great poster.
Not
for this
and
movie.
What else do you have here? That's the
Sixth
French
Sense.
poster, The Sixth Sense. And
that's actually a cool poster, though.
I mean, it gives you a kind of sense of, it's got two of the more important characters there.
Whatever it is. And I'm not even going to try that. That's an Asian, probably Japanese.
We got a little bit of everything here.
That's an interesting one, too.
So if you look at, so I must have seen that in the Red Dragon, the Edward Norton one with Anthony Hopkins, because I swear I have a visual of in this movie, Francis, of him with this tattoo and flexing or something. Is that in Red Dragon?
It's definitely in Red Dragon. And
in Red Dragon, they show him nude, just completely like with the tattoo. It's awesome.
And we've got some pictures, that, like I said, they did Tom Noonan up in a really boss tattoo. And then for some and from what I hear, it was Mann's decision to take it out. I love this poster. It's just not for this movie. It looks very giallo. It's
fragments. What is it? Fragmente de un homicidio. It's fragments of a murder, but probably homicide. And I don't know, other than the mirror breaking, those are the fragments, I guess.
Yeah. We've
got. It was also in Mexico, is also known as El Sabueso, the Hound.
We've got a fetching lass, very pale, little blood trickling out of her mouth, and we've got a scary hand. I don't see the connection anywhere in this movie, but it's cool looking.
With another hand holding on to the.
There's a scary hand too. Okay. Put it on a poster. All right. Well, that's it for the posters. But this, it got around. So this is Michael Mann is the director, who became very well known and popular from Miami Vice, the TV series, with Crockett and Tubbs.
Doesn't make a lot of movies, but he's made some
good ones. So Heat is a wonderful movie.
Heat's great.
And
Last of the Mohicans, I think, is just one of the most. That movie, dang.
The Keep, I love the book, but I never by F. Paul Wilson, but I've never quite warmed up to the movie. I'm going to keep trying.
No. It's one of those movies
Gary
that was
loves it.
butchered in post, but it's really, really long. And when it's like, well, they cut 2 hours out of this movie, it's like, good God, how long was this movie? But yet you can see, as long as it is, because it moves at a languid pace, two characters meet and boom, the next thing you know, they're in bed. It's like, wow, okay, that's a way to do it. Then again, it's got one of the most awesome monsters ever.
Molar. Was it Molar?
But his initial appearance when he's the giant golem with the, Laurie Anderson flashing mouth and eyes, it was great. Absolutely, totally cool. But I can't make heads or tails out of that movie. It's a Jerry Chandler favorite.
The book makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
But it's got a fairly thick book, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Red Dragon is about 300 pages, the novel.
What they mostly cut out of Red Dragon is the whole backstory for Dollar.
They did. So that's a big difference. I was going to mention that, Crystal, in the movie Red Dragon, you get all that backstory of when Will Graham caught Lecter.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you get that scene. Whereas in this one, it's just sort of recounted to you, I guess.
And I think that's one thing.
Yeah, they said 3 years ago.
Mention this with Cox versus Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins, Dr. Lecter, is too big to remain imprisoned. He's more like a force of nature kind of thing. He has to get out. The confinement doesn't suit him well.
Right.
So, he breaks out in Silence of the Lambs, and then in Hannibal, it's Katie bar the door. He's basically Rambo. This one is different, but I saw the wisdom when they made Red Dragon to include a scene where we see Hannibal before he was captured, and we got to see exactly how terrifying he could be when he's in control, almost. Yeah. And that was a good scene. It was a good scene.
So yeah, this basically starts with the Tooth Fairy killings, and Jack Crawford, Will Graham's old boss, comes to try to get him out of retirement. He's retired from PTSD, etc., to be with his family. He's got a great place on the ocean in Florida. All right, so Will Graham.
So I do love this actor. I think he's fantastic.
I do too. I think he's very good. It's almost like he's like pre-auditioning for CSI.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as Gruesome.
Some would say he underplays the role, but I think one of the things I like about this, the idea, he and Lecter have an interesting relationship, and when Lecter says that quote that Chad wisely picked, "Smell yourself." One of the things I think that Lecter resents is that to him, he and Will Graham are two peas in a pod. It's just that in his opinion, Will Graham refuses to accept the fact that he's a monster and has channeled this ability to think like a serial killer, because I think in Lecter's view, he is a serial killer. He just doesn't kill people. Although he figures out a way to do it. That he's been able to do in a socially acceptable way, that everyone claps and applauds. He can have a family and everything. And poor Dr. Lecter is, left to do the best he can in a world that would destroy him if it knew what he was. I like that he underplays everything, because you sort of wonder in his mind if he wonders if that's true. And so he keeps himself very calm. When everything else is crazy around him, he's not showing anger. I think he's afraid to show anger. I think he's afraid to display strong emotions because he's not entirely sure where he'll go with it. I think it's a great portrayal.
Well, I have different thoughts on psychopaths and sociopaths and stuff, but I do love his performance. But I think totally differently about. I think Hannibal Lecter is just completely wrong. I've known a lot of homicide detectives, and you have to think like a serial killer, or you don't do your job. That's but it's totally possible to think like them, because I do, and not have the urge to kill someone. It's absolutely totally. I mean, now that doesn't mean That doesn't mean when the job needs to get done that you're not going to do it. But, you know, I mean, I think it's very difficult for normal people to think, why would someone do this? And for someone to just say, because they can, because sometimes that's really all it is. Because they want to, because it makes them feel good, because they get gratification from it. I mean, you know, there's so many different things going on. I mean, but that is a whole, that's not about this movie. Sorry. We're getting
no. But with Will Graham, though,
like
with Will Graham, we know that the last time he did this, it did mess him up.
He went too, because
he got too far. He couldn't pull out completely.
But he's also a fictional character. So
of course. Yes. Yeah. I don't think
so. There's a whole, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that went on from this. You know, if there's a series, John Douglas wrote a series of book called The Manhunter.
I was about to say Manhunter.
He's a great series.
That's based on a real person.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. John Douglas.
So let me tell you, I totally relate to him because I could totally see myself saying the same disgusting things to someone that's dangerous, because you know that's what gets them off. Like, it's a very interesting and odd thing, I guess, because people think you can't think dark and still be empathetic or a good person, and that's just simply not true. You just don't think like everyone else does. And now, I mean, of course, it's taken me many years to think
the
I'm
TV
okay.
show. The TV show Hannibal, great show, very bizarre, really bizarre. The entire premise of the show is basically Hannibal Lecter seducing William Graham into the dark side, and he's pretty thoroughly getting pulled into it. That show ended way before it should have.
But that's only because Will had encephalitis. So the reality is, once he recovers from his encephalitis, the last season, he is in total control. He's just making Lecter think that he is still, you know, in that same position. But he literally had.
I got to rewatch that series again.
Yeah, I want a lot of rewatch the movies too. I actually want to reread the books. Silence of the Lambs is a very good book actually.
Is making me want to read the books because I have not read the books.
I think the books are great. I think Hannibal went a little too far. Actually,
really?
Went way too far.
In the books, he went too far?
Hannibal, Hannibal, the novel, does not end the way the movie does, and I was not happy.
Ooh.
Well, that one I haven't read. I just read Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs, and both those.
There's a reason why the movie did not follow the book very much at all.
I feel like.
Oh my God, I'm dying to know now. I'm dying to know.
I don't want to spoil it for you.
No. It's good.
I feel like at the time Hannibal was written, by the time he got around to writing Hannibal, Lecter had become so huge in the public eye and that kind of thing. And that book basically focused on Lecter. It just did some way over the top things that didn't seem consistent with the other two movies.
Yeah, how do you bump it up a notch?
Okay.
You get to a point where
bring in the carnivorous pigs.
So I've read all this stuff. All got me interested in that stuff. But I read all of John Douglas's book, The Manhunter, and then he had 2 or 3 sequels of it about cases and the kinds of things that they predicted and the profiles they made and that kind of stuff, which I thought was very interesting. And then they made that TV show based on it called Manhunter.
So sad that was.
That was an excellent show too.
Good.
So well cast.
All right. So Will Graham, William Peterson's wife, is played by Kim Greist. She is Molly.
She's got nice hair.
Yeah.
Well, and we know her from Chud.
Chud.
Now, it kind of freaked me out because I swear when I was putting this together, I'm like going, I swear we've talked about her for some reason in the last not too long ago. I couldn't find a single movie she'd done that would have been something else that we talked about. So
I just put this on my 31 Halloween horror movies.
Okay.
And so I just said her name and I was like, oh yeah, this lady.
In Brazil.
Yep.
What's Brazil? I haven't seen
Oh,
it.
Terry Gilliam. Crazy
Terry
movie.
Gilliam, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Crazy movie is right.
Not a feel-good movie, but very well done.
Is it a horror film?
More dystopian sci-fi.
Yeah, there you go.
Horror adjacent.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
does a good job too of how do I say this? I don't want to, at least in the movie. This is cliche, but she does a way of stand by her man, but it doesn't sound maudlin or cliched, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, at least at the end, she says, "I didn't know if I was going to stay." So, you know, I think that's better. She should have.
She's
some...
not happy about him going back into this because she almost lost him once already to it. But how do you say no to, well, if I don't do this, an innocent family is going to be slaughtered again?
Yeah.
You know,
3, 4, 5, 6, you know.
That's a lot of karma.
Which fits the last line where then they circle back and show the turtles that, you know, he and his son buried the turtle eggs or fenced them off to protect them. And then they start hatching and she says, "How many did you save?" And he said, "Almost all of them." And it ties right into the families that he saved by doing this. So
I like that too. Like, I think that's a cute little reference there. It's like,
there's a lot of that in here actually. Brian Cox.
Brian Cox.
Everybody knows
I love this
I feel like I'm the only one that is like, I mean, it wasn't a bad performance, don't get me wrong.
I love Anthony Hopkins.
It's just it's
a very different character and much more realistic. Now, and one of the things, it occurred to me, he's got this interesting way of like looking at, you know, he sits there with his mouth kind of hanging open.
Yeah.
It reminds me.
His lips are just a little red or something.
It reminds me, when I was a kid, my uncle used to always take us to the Staten Island Zoo. Staten Island Zoo was what zoos were like back in the 60s. Awful. Just little animals cages. Left in cages. Yeah. And there was a tiger in a cage. And all it did in all the years I went there is it paced back and forth, looking at us with its mouth hanging open. I look at it, I think about it now as just the saddest damn thing in the world. But boy, I'm pretty sure if that cage had broken, we would have all been dead. How fast could that tiger? He wouldn't have even hesitated. Just kill. And he's like that. He's a tiger in a cage. He's enraged that he was put there by Will Graham, who he respects but does not consider his equal, when he says, "Oh, so by inference you're smarter than me." And Will is very quick to say, "No, I know you're not smart. You're smarter than I am." But then it's always a performance when he gets, I love the scene where he gets on the phone and with the gum wrapper manages to get there and just sweet talks this secretary. And even though he's the only person in the room, he's putting on a show. He's like, "Well, just take that finger and zip it down to," you know, he's just enjoying himself. He's so much smarter than everyone else. And it enrages him that he is the one who's caged.
Absolutely. And all that stuff, there's so many of those things that tie in. Then we have the tiger later on. That apparently Francis Dollarhide has a relationship with this guy and goes to visit this tiger, maybe. I don't know. How does he know? I want to take you and show you something. How does this guy knows who he is?
I wish I could just call up people and go, touch it.
But then they recreate that. They recreate that scene. So the scene where she's like Reba, the blind woman that he worked with, she lays kind of along it and caresses it. And then later, I think it's later, she's in bed with him, and it kind of sets up the same type of pose, right?
That's a good point.
Him as the tiger. I just like how he's sitting there. He's got his feet up in the air, and then he's just so. But the thing that to me that adds fear to it or danger is the way that he's treated. I mean, nobody will get within reach when they have this locked door to slide things to him. He has to be in the back of his cell, and turn his back or something like that. I don't know. Remember, Will won't even hand him papers through the bars. He has to call the guard in to hand them through. They are absolutely not taking any chances with him.
Yeah. Well, they talk about how he, almost murdered a nurse and everything, and just he's capable. And then of course he escapes, in his, he's basically, the thing I like and also like this different portrayal is in Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. He's basically Dr. Fives. He is always 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone. And, you know, he takes advantage of every opportunity and is never in any danger. It's all going to work for him. It's almost like he wills things, unlikely things to happen just because he wills it to. He walks through the carnivorous pigs and they don't even seem to notice that he's there. Maybe they see him as, you know, professional courtesy or something, but he's a great supervillain and literally is a supervillain. This is a very angry, very intelligent serial killer. He's real. This feels much more real to me and therefore scarier. I love watching Anthony Hopkins swinging for the rafters, never blinking. I mean, just being an absolute supervillain monster. But to me, this portrayal is my favorite Dr. Lecter, and much more pretty realistic in terms of the first book. And again, by the second book, he knew he had caught lightning in a bottle and didn't show enough of it in the first book. Dr. Lecter is front and center in the second book, and then he's almost the entire book in everything else. And then we have a book that's nothing but him, his origin story.
But it's a similar setup because she's, you know, Clarice goes to talk to him because she's trying to catch Buffalo Bill.
Right. Well, and in this one, it's you know, he's just going there to get the scent, to get the vibe back of what it's like to deal with these monsters. He doesn't really expect Lecter to offer any great insight into the killer itself. By the time we have the second book, now Lecter is actually the puppet master. He has had prior relationships with Buffalo Bill and these other serial killers. He's, you know, you get the idea that as before he was caught, he was creating monsters like himself and setting them loose in the world. It's fascinating and it's great, but it's now getting into almost comic book territory. And I don't say that in a negative way.
Thomas Harris is not a prolific writer. His first book was Black Sunday in 1975 about a terrorist plot to
good book.
For Super Bowl. That was 75. Red Dragon is 81. Silence of the Lambs, 88. Hannibal, not till 99. And Hannibal Rising, 2006. And that's it, I think.
Hannibal Rising feels like reading Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes stories after he had tried to kill him off. He did not want to write any more Sherlock Holmes. But then they went and offered him a big bucket of Victorian money. And
it's what makes money. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's written one book since. I have not read it. I really need to get that.
So here's some of Brian Cox's work. Trick or Treat.
He's been in a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes, the X-Men, Morgan, the Water Horse, Legend of the Delph, The Ring. Yep.
Yeah.
And most recently, what's the series? Severance.
Oh, I love Severance. Yeah. The Apple.
Yeah.
Series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's McDonald's commercials.
Ooh.
Doing voiceovers.
McDonald's.
Da 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 da.
I'm loving it.
Wait a minute. I got that wrong. What is the name of that show?
What the heck?
Well, there's two of these, and I always get them mixed up. They have similar. Succession. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Succession is the one about the family.
The family dynasty, yeah, and he's the patriarch. Yeah.
It's also a fun interview because he's reached the age and the amount of money in the bank that he does not give a rip. He will tell you your opinion on anything.
It may be available other places. The Red Gray or Manhunter is on the Criterion Channel. There's also like an hour interview with Brian Cox, and one of the movies they asked him about is Manhunter. So he talks about that and what he was playing, and they play a lengthy scene that he's in.
Brian Cox was in a movie called Red. I don't know if
yes.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
That's a
great movie.
Good character there too.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the last 20 years, right? It's really amazing. And he said in his interview, one of the things he said was at some point he made a decision that he was going to try to be a consummate character actor, not a leading man. And
Smart
that's
move.
what he did from then on. Those and except for in I guess in Succession, he's actually a leading man. Anyway,
He's
200
great in those parts, though. Stryker from the
Absolutely.
X-Men.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's.
Mhm.
What a
I mean,
villain.
to me, look at the contrast between the two introductions of the Dr. Lecter character. In
Mhm.
Silence of the Lambs, she walks through this almost ridiculously spooky, insane asylum with crazy people and everything. It's like something from Bedlam. And there's Lecter, and he's standing there staring at her like he's been expecting her. He's just been waiting there, and and he's smiling, welcome. And this is all a game to him. It's all fun. This is the most fun he's had since the last person that came and he could mentally torture. And in this one, Will Graham sits down. Lecter has his back to him, hasn't heard anything, hasn't seen anything, and then just starts talking like they're old friends. Starts talking about the aftershave he's wearing. And they do in the book talk about his sense of smell. It's just interesting to me that how
he smells he smells his aftershave right away.
how unthreatening he is. But every word he says, and it's like, oh, and that aftershave, it comes in a bottle with a ship on it, something a child would give. It's like, oh, everything this guy says is threatening.
Mhm.
Even though he is, one would think he's in no position to carry out any threats. And yet, what does he do? He sicks a serial killer on this guy's family.
So that's
just from his cell.
So I read a book, and I'm trying to remember exactly, but I think it was something called like the psychopath test, and there was
that sounds fun.
There's like 18 questions that
failed.
A psychiatrist worked up, that said is typical of psychopath. So this guy decided he wrote this book, and he started going around and interviewing psychopaths, some of who were not in jail. They were like
CEOs.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
CEOs who are demolishing companies and live in mansions with tigers on the lawn, on the perimeter, and just crazy stuff. So anyway, he interviews a guy in prison, and he is a boy, my brain just is not putting words together today. Genocide down in one of the Caribbean islands, Haiti, maybe.
No, that'd be a good place to be a psychopath.
And it's well documented. And so he's in prison in New York. He goes in to interview the guy, and he's like the nicest guy he ever met. And one of his interviews, he said, "What? It seems like it's really important to you for me to like you." And he goes, "Well, yeah. How else can I get you to do what I want you to do?" It's all and that's the way Lecter is. Everything he says is about manipulation. Like he doesn't answer Will's questions; he deflects, and it's anyway. Great stuff. So then that was one psychopath in this movie. Here's the other one, Tom Noonan, and there's that
see,
painting.
that was the tattoo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, why? What? This movie would have been so much better for me.
I have no. I don't know. And supposedly it was Michael Mann who agreed to this, and I
better
can't explain it.
I saw so many people, so many pictures of people drawing that on. So
that's disappointing. Like, because he didn't sell it for me. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that is really weird and creepy, and that would help. Okay.
Well,
that would help.
Let's take a look at this right now. I think, where did you have that? Was it there? Yeah. So that you don't really get, but his death pose with his arms outspread and sort of the pool of blood representing the wings.
Yeah.
You don't get what that is if you haven't seen that tattoo or the William Blake.
As good as the ending sequence is, if it had been him with his shirt off and sporting that tattoo, it would have been 5 times
Would have been
scarier.
Awesome. Yeah.
So a missed opportunity. I don't understand.
Maybe they didn't think it worked. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it didn't, but boy, in the still shots, it sure does.
Yeah.
I bet it did. But let's be real. They probably wanted to cater to they probably thought it was too scary and too weird. They wanted to cater to the masses, I bet. They wanted to tone it down.
Well, it didn't work. Whatever,
Yeah.
they didn't understand the masses, obviously.
No.
the masses.
But it's like when he forces the reporter to open his eyes, and the guy looks at him, and he's just like aghast in horror. And then we cut to Tom Noonan with a
and it looks like he's half
nylon
out of
hose
freaking-
over his
yeah,
face.
about to rob a
Just-
bank or something. You
It's
know,
like,
it's like
okay.
that's not scary at all.
I mean, yeah, it's scary because a serial killer has you tied to a chair and things are probably going to end real badly for you. But that would have been scary. Oh God, I am so dead.
So there's a lot of shots like that. There's a shot, the shot where he's sitting outside Reba's apartment
Mm-hmm.
and that other worker drives her home, which we know he does usually, right? From the previous story. He's sitting in his car and the shadow from the streetlight comes right across his face, like right where that thing is. I don't know if that was intentional, but it was something that struck me as being similar.
That was a great sequence too, where he imagines her, he sees it through his eyes. He's seeing something that isn't really happening. And then, just ripping off the vinyl from his car.
Well, it made me wonder though, too, if he wasn't imagining his relationship with her as well, because she didn't know who he was when he came into the house.
Mm-hmm.
Did he imagine all that? Because, that's what he was kind of doing with these other ladies, too. I feel like he was imagining all of it.
That's interesting. I didn't think that, but that's interesting.
Why didn't she know his voice? It's like, who is this? Who is it? Who are you? Why are you doing that? She had no idea who he was. I don't know if, obviously in the Red Dragon, they did not take it in this direction. But in this one, I felt like the whole thing was in his imagination, because then you see them just say goodbye. Obviously, he never came in. He never did anything with the woman or anything. It was all in his head. And he got that was interesting to me. Yeah. It made me question everything.
There's so much we didn't get to know about him. Like all we see is the little scar on his lip. But in the book, he was born with a severe facial deformity. His mother abandoned him. His grandmother later found him and brought him back to embarrass the mother. The grandmother was monstrous. And it's actually her teeth. That's what he puts into his mouth. It's a copy of her horrifying teeth that he uses to bite people. So there's some Norman Bates in here. There's a lot of scary, creepy stuff.
There's a lot more.
But there just wasn't time, I guess.
So here's Tom Noonan, some stuff he's
in. Yeah. Come on, this guy.
We just talked about him in Wolfen. Monster Squad. That wasn't too long ago either, less than a year ago. House of the Devil. You know what? I think I need to watch that this October. I've seen it before, but it's been a long time.
Very good movie.
I don't remember a whole lot about it other than the basis of it. All right. Moving on to a guy that there's no way in hell that I would have recognized this guy.
Yeah, I could not believe it when I looked up him, and it's like, wait, what?
This Lowndes character is
the reporter, the sleazy reporter. Great death.
Did you recognize him, Crystal?
Who? I don't know who he is.
The reporter, Stephen Lang.
Who's that?
Avatar. Don't Breathe.
He plays the old man in Don't Breathe, the blind man. He changed. He looks just like he and Stephen First should be making buddy movies together in this movie. Right. And then somehow he matured into an alpha male.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's hope for us all. I think I had another slide with some of his stuff because I was in shock when I looked up. It's like, wait, where was he in Avatar? Was he one of the blue people? Did he demote?
No, he's like
he's the antagonist. He's that tough as nails guy who's running around in exosuit and looks like he eats trees. I don't know. It was crazy. It's like this guy, and then
that whole breathe. That whole scene with the wheelchair coming down the ramp, which obviously it would never have gone that straight, but my God, what a great visual.
Yeah. He wasn't a great guy, but he didn't deserve to die that.
Yeah.
And this is after he got his lips bitten off. It's like, does it get any worse than this? Now, they didn't really show that. It's implied, but they didn't show it. In Red Dragon, I think he bites his lips off and lifts his head up and spits them out. And you're like, oh, yeah.
I feel like in Red Dragon, the movie, it's worse because he winds up. Remember, he winds up living,
Oh,
and then I mean, he doesn't survive eventually because that comes back to him. But ugh, so bad, so bad.
VFW is another really fun movie if you haven't
Yeah,
seen
Yeah,
it
it.
I
is.
love VFW.
So is Sisu.
Sisu
he's
is great.
in
So
that?
this is no, this is the sequel, which I am there for because I
Sisu
love
2?
Sisu.
I do
Sisu
too.
2.
Oh,
He's
When
I
is
think
that?
it's
Is that out?
it's coming. I think it's November 27th,
Wow.
if I recall correctly. It's coming out, and it's basically as we last left Sisu, he had taken out the remaining members of the Third Reich, and now he's got to take on the Russians because apparently they want his gold too. Listen, folks, don't take this man's gold.
Right. Right. So Stephen Lang plays the character in the next one.
He plays, I think, the Russian
Oh,
antagonist. yeah.
okay, good. That's a great movie.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
I love that.
absolutely
That
amazing.
first one.
I was shocked, and my wife was shocked. Now, I'm bad with faces, we all know, but my wife is not. My wife will torment me with like, "Hey, do you recognize that actor?" And I'm like, "How long have we been married? Of course, I don't recognize this actor."
see, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I'm really bad with names. I'll remember the face but I could hardly see that dude's face very well. I mean, we saw the close up on his eyes. I really
Yeah.
didn't think too much about him because I didn't think enough
The
about
Ronald
him.
McDonald
I
hair
feel
didn't
bad.
help. I mean, just yeah.
That's fair too. Yeah, you know,
Well,
that
the
was so hot
entire
back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
yeah, the entire thing was different.
hmm
He's just such a different character.
He's a good actor.
Was it Philip Seymour Hoffman played him in the remake?
Yes, yes. Another great actor, boy.
Mm-hmm.
What a shame.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't think he was
freaking
bad in anything.
Fantastic. I agree.
I remember seeing him for the first time in Twister, and even though he was a secondary, maybe tertiary character, every time he's on the screen, you're not even looking at Helen Hunt, and you're looking at him. He had that factor.
Yeah.
I just wish he could have stuck around a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
This is a more current picture. That's from Avatar.
God, I would not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait,
Yes.
what? Of course I know who he is. What? No.
I told that to Shauna, and she's
No
like,
way.
"I think you've gotten it wrong." And I'm like, "Look, and she was
Wait.
amazed.
Oh my
So,
God. I love that dude. I
He's
can't
great.
believe. I can't.
He was also in
Okay.
Tombstone.
Oh, wait, they
Now
killed
I
him
see
Who is
dead
he
in
in
why y'all are
Avatar, and then they
freaking
brought
out.
him back for Avatar 2 and 3. So that tells you.
He was one of the Clantons, I think.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Law don't go around here, law dog.
One of those.
Or whatever
okay.
he said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, he just looked like he was like a smart ass little kid. You know?
Yeah,
Like he was like he goes to flash those people that were driving away in the car in the parking ramp. I'm just like, really? That's he
he's
doesn't
a real jerk.
Yeah. He doesn't deserve what he gets, but he's not a nice guy. All
I
right.
didn't-
Well,
didn't
I
shed any
cannot
tears.
believe that's the same dude. I don't know. No, I don't know, y'all.
You gotta go double check.
Of course, I remember him from VFW now. Oh my God. Okay, I see why y'all are freaking out.
Yeah,
It's
see,
a totally
see.
different
right.
dude.
And don't breathe. Yeah. He's,
Okay.
So there's
okay,
hope for
duh.
everyone. Pump a little iron, get a decent haircut.
But I didn't.
He
I
looks like
watched
he has
it.
a really good
You know, I
tan,
didn't.
too.
I didn't
Yeah.
know Stephen Lang from anybody when I saw it in the theater. But now, if I hadn't looked ahead of time, I would not have known that was. I looked at that and went, no way would I recognize it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, Jack Crawford is played by Dennis Farina.
Small
I like
role.
him. He was in a ton of stuff too.
Yeah.
He is.
Crawford has a much bigger role in Silence of the Lambs.
Mm.
Mhm. But he's also just.
Then Scott
I
Glenn
like,
in
I
Silence
like
of
the
the
way
Lambs,
he
right?
is here.
Yeah.
He's a little bit like I like his personality better here
Yeah.
than like yeah. You know.
It's a very different dynamic with
Hmm.
Clarice
He's a
Starling.
decent like person here.
You notice
Well,
how Thomas Harris does a trick that I like, and sometimes would use myself, names of his characters. He tends to have characters whose the last letters of their first name are repeated in the first letters of the second name. So Jack Crawford, Hannibal Lecter, Clarice Starling. But then Will Graham just what? And I wonder if that was a deliberate to kind of break that pattern.
Break the mold there.
Yeah.
He was Dennis Farina was a Chicago cop for 18 years.
You can tell.
And he plays a lot of cops.
Well.
Mhm.
He plays a lot of cops.
World's tallest mustache.
even as a late bloomer, he's got 82 credits, and a lot of stuff lately. He's in Get Shorty and Snatch, and I think there was a
role real well. Can I just say, this is one of those movies where if you want to be analytical about it, you can look at the shots, because the shots tend to be long and linger, and read a lot of meaning into it.
Yes.
I mean, here, this scene on the bottom, we have Will Graham is facing us, looking away from Jack. Jack is facing away from us, looking at Will. And, I mean, what message are we sending here? We've got these two characters. One of them is trying to convince the other one to come back. And so we portray this as a character. They're facing away from each other. One's looking at the other's not looking at him. I mean, visually, if you didn't know anything about this scene, you could look at this shot and get a pretty good guess of what's happening.
Agreed.
That's smart. That's really smart.
So he was in Farina was in a TV show called
LA Story?
Crime
Story. That's it.
For like 43 episodes, something like that. So he's always does a good job. And then we have Joan Allen, who plays Reba, the blind woman. I was a little surprised that she was so quick to go to his,
See, but what if it wasn't real?
You're still beating that drum.
But at the same time,
how would she not know? She literally spent the entire day with that guy. She went here with him, and then she had relations with him and doesn't know his voice.
You talking about when he knocked on the door?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was pretty quiet, though. I mean, I could sort of understand that, the first knock.
She's blind. Do you understand how blind people can recognize people?
I didn't say she couldn't recognize them. I'm saying it was just.
Well, how about this? How about this, Crystal? In all the other
way.
times that she's been with him, he's been using that very passive,
right.
gentle voice. And now he's become the Red Dragon. Now he's speaking in a different voice.
Maybe. I don't know. It's weird. It was weird to me.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever had any blind friends, but their hearing is freaking phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
And they can tell how someone's but they can also tell how someone's feeling based on their voice alone. Like there's so much to it because they have to learn how to cope and how to it's just, I just don't buy. Maybe that's just a fault in the writing. And it's not really because I'm because if I spent that, I guarantee you I could recognize one of y'all's voices for sure. I mean, but of course we talk to each other all the time, but I also rely too heavily on my sight to.
Yeah, I had I had a couple. I had one friend that was blind and another kind of just an acquaintance really. And then another guy that was a pretty good friend that had really bad eyesight. He had macular degeneration.
That might be worse.
And another mutual friend said something to me once about, oh boy, he's really kind of stuck up. And I said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I met him right on the sidewalk and he never said anything to me. And I said, well, he probably didn't know who you were. If you say hi, Bob, and he'll know who you are,
You were there.
He just looked right through me.
He didn't know about his eye problems. It wasn't real obvious. He was going to cover it up. So anyway, this Joan.
He just walked right by me with his cane and dog.
Got a long career too. She's in the Bourne Ultimatum, Bourne Supremacy. What did I just see? That is it Lacey's Story, the Stephen King miniseries. Nixon. She plays Pat Nixon in the.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's good in this, and you can
Twilight
see
Zone.
where he sees her as his one opportunity to,
Peggy
to
Sue got married.
get normalcy. But
Oh, that's a good movie. It's cute.
This was
One of the
like
thing-
her fifth credit.
yeah, one of the things I really liked was how they used like jump edits, like when he's about to kill her and then he can't, and he's looking down and is like thinking about what he's going to do, and then he hears Will Graham coming and looks up, but the thing where he's looking down and then cutting up is like a jump cut, which usually really takes you out of the picture. But in this case, it worked.
Yeah.
And like when he's getting shot too, they did some of that stutter. It just, I don't know. It for some reason,
There was all kinds of little tells in this. Like, they do the little thing where they give him the bullets for the gun and they tell him about what's special about the bullets. And you see they're coated in blue. And then when he's in the car and he's loading his gun and Jack's in the backseat going, "You're not going to need that. The SWAT's going to take him out." And he drops a bullet and you see it laying there with the blue tip on it. And right away you're going, "Oh yeah, those bullets, the special, I don't know. I just like little things like that without victims. So he put mirrors in their eyes.
I love that image on the bottom. That is just so cool. Also reminds me of The Keep, but okay.
Remind you of what?
The Keep.
Well, there you go. This is, so that, and it fits perfectly the story. I don't know. They were talking in it like, so he could see the change taking place in him, like he could watch himself doing that to him, but also I kind of felt like so he could see how he looked to her.
Yeah.
Out of her eyes. It just was a really crazy.
And the shot, I couldn't find a shot, but the shot of the room covered in blood is so horrific. I mean, the scene where they're in the airplane and he falls asleep thinking of his wife, and then the photographs come out and the little girl sitting next to him. It's like, dang, that was harsh.
Yeah, that was some crazy. A lot of blood splattered all over the wall. You couldn't really see what was going on, but then you look and that one wall is just covered with blood splattered. Then you had the end. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Which we talked about.
Happy
He empties that gun with those special bullets, which they told him one shot stop, and he empties the gun in him. Even after he had been shot a couple times by one of those other guys.
Oh, guys like Frankenstein.
I'm just going to throw these up real quick because there's a couple of guys we probably would recognize here. Here we go.
Chris Elliott. I love Chris Elliott.
Not much of a part. Yeah, I think he had one line.
Yeah. But he was
and
great
he
is
it Bob Elliott's son?
Yeah.
From Bob and Ray.
That's right.
The old comedy team. And then Frankie Faison, who was in the great series
Silence of the Lambs, wasn't he?
Yes, he's in all of them as
right.
a character named Barney.
He's the orderly who collects items from Hannibal Lecter and sells them.
And he's in The Wire, which is a great series from HBO. That's about it. Any final comments? I think it's an amazing.
If you haven't seen it, watch it.
I think it's great to look at this and to look at Red Dragon and see the different ways they handled the same subject matter.
Both good movies. So here's my recommendation. Watch all the movies. Some are better than others, but they're all worth watching.
At least
read all the books.
Yeah.
Even the least of the books is worth reading. He's a very good writer. I wish he wrote more. Watch the TV series. I mean, really, this universe that he created with basically the Lecter character is the one continuing thing has been pretty successful for him.
I don't think people, if you didn't go through it, you don't really realize the effect Miami Vice had on the culture. I mean,
that's true.
I think Don Johnson's Sonny Crockett and his stubble he started the whole stubble face trend, and they start making razors that anyway.
There are photos from me in the 80s wearing a pink pastel shirt.
Oh, and
I've tried to burn all the negatives, but I've been unsuccessful.
Whatever. All dudes wear pink.
I look
what are you talking
ridiculous.
about?
No, it's not that it's
all
pink.
dudes wear pink.
It's that it's
like,
so Miami Vice. It's like it. I might
Is
as
it like a
well
polo?
have an
A pink
alligator
polo?
in a boat right behind
a
me.
great
It was
cast.
so painful, so painful to see jumping on the bandwagon of this TV show.
Pink's so hot.
So you should check this out if you haven't seen it, and it's hard to find on a Blu-ray. I don't quite understand why.
It did sort of fall between the cracks. Crystal, let me put it this way: when Friends wanted to have a make us laugh by doing a flashback with the lead characters to a few years earlier, they had Chandler and I can't remember his name, dressed in a Miami Vice outfits with the pastel colors, solid pastels, and it's just like, oh yeah, we were dorks.
All right. I think it's time to move to feedback.
Feedback.
We're running long because I had technical problems to start with. So we have a lot of feedback. Not a lot, but enough. Episode 293, Demonoid from Jerry Chandler.
This won't take long.
Go ahead.
Jerry says, "Oh, and for Crystal on Demonoid's opening not making sense for her. They cut the woman's hand off at the beginning of the movie because she was already possessed. She was the host for the demon, possibly even leading its cult in that time period. The movie starts with what feels like the overthrowing of the demon's cult, and since they couldn't destroy the hand, they imprisoned it in some sort of blessed sacred vessel. It was actually a good, if sloppily and quickly done, Cliff's Notes intro, since it let us know the history of the demon, that it has to possess a human, that the case they later find is way more dangerous than just a silver box, and that the hand can be removed."
And by the way, Chad, we read another one from Jerry on Demonoid during the Wolfen episode. Mm-hmm. And the last paragraph is, "I still can't believe Chad picked this one, but it certainly made for an enjoyable discussion to listen to. So please, a big hand for Chad, everyone."
I see what he did there.
Jerry's
going to send us a Demonoid letter
that was like my
for
favorite.
the next 10
episodes.
So,
what a card! What a maroon!
All right. Then on Wolfland, I'll just read this one from L.D. Crumley. "This was a movie."
That is a fact.
Truer words were never spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That could be the most spot-on feedback we've ever gotten.
Yeah,
hard to argue.
I mean, it's absolutely 100% true.
Well, he should be writing for Wikipedia.
We may not have actually even.
He could write taglines for sure.
Yeah, he could write taglines. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Please.
All right, and another quickie. Stuart 118 Tyler. "I am a fan of this movie. Pretty cool concept. I just love it." Excellent. Thank you, Stuart. And where are we at here? Let's go, Bill, with Retro Game Man Dan.
Retro Game Man Dan 79 says, "I know I saw this on TV as a kid, but totally forgot about it. It's cool how you cover so much on these videos. Funny, now I resemble Albert Finney as a middle-aged man with bad skin." Yeah, we all become Albert Finney in the end. Except Crystal.
Well, if we're... And I left this one for Crystal.
Thank you, Jerry. See, I already know Jerry and I.
Jerry,
y'all.
So
y'all are crazy.
This one's on the Wolfen. Right. So your turn, Crystal. Jerry.
See, if Jerry says I'm right, then I know I'm right. Okay. Kind of curious why you seem confused about some aspects of the wolves knowing things or how they seem to do things during the movie. It always seemed to me that they were as much spirits as they were material. When they were trying to ID them, they were referenced as an unknown species of wolf. At the end, when the model of the development is smashed, they literally fade out rather than just run out of the room. And that's what I said, y'all. I said, they dematerialized. And y'all were like, what?
Yeah.
Right, Jerry? Right? Yeah. Okay. They're spirits. They're elemental. They're not bound by the rules of just an animal, even a very smart one. Why? It seemed like to me the typical production thing happened on the way to making a film in that era. The book had a super intelligent species of wolf that were higher on the predatory food chain than us, but also lived in the shadows. It's been decades since I read it, but I don't remember the Native American characters being as front and center in the book. But Hollywood in that era was doing a lot of amping that up when they could and playing into the mysticism and spirituality stereotypes around the various people of the First Nations. Yes, that's true. Yeah. So probably Hollywood started playing with 2 or 3 different ideas to blend into it to make it a more stereotypically native mystical. Yeah, that makes sense. So they suddenly dip far more into Native American supernatural with otherworldly spirit planes powers as seen by their fade out moment in the big final scene. Crystal is correct about almost. In several interviews I'm aware of, he's claimed Aztec. Oh, see, I figured. He's claimed Aztec ancestry as well as Mexican. See, y'all.
Oh my God, Jerry, you're gonna give her a
y'all.
sword,
Like,
man.
y'all, I fucking know so much shit.
I bet Jerry's gonna write. Then his next letter is gonna be, Crystal's right about that blind girl being totally in her.
Just remember, guys, she thinks like a psychopath. So
yeah, that's true.
Careful.
But Jerry does his research, y'all. Okay. You may find the film more enjoyable watching it again a few months from now. I saw it young, maybe when it first hit the movie channel. Is that a?
That
used to be a thing,
like an HBO or something.
Oh, okay. Why doesn't it exist anymore? Did it just die? Did it get absorbed?
I don't know.
Probably got absorbed by one of the big ones.
Probably.
First hit the movie channel and really enjoy. Like, I literally don't think that sounds silly. Sorry, I need to move past it. It's just the movie channel. I mean, that's basic. That's probably why it failed, and really enjoyed it. Bought it on VHS about a decade later and loved it. Didn't watch it again for a long time, maybe not until the pandemic, and forgot the structure of the film. I had the same reaction you all described about waiting for the creatures and feeling it was dragging out a bit. I watched it again when you all announced it to refresh my memory of it and enjoyed it a lot more. I remembered that it was more suspenseful and procedural than full-on horror, a story about the humans and how this thing coming into their day today would impact them. And I was able to enjoy it more for what it was again. Yeah, that's probably true if I knew what I was in for. And lastly, I didn't.
Yeah, he had this on social media too, but he's making
just
sure we
let this
read
go.
it.
I did not misspell the name of Bill's favorite ever Italian cannibal movie, starting with the letter A. Anthropophagus. Anthropophagus. But it sounds great.
Yeah, but we said it was anthro. But
yes,
it is in England.
Yes.
In England, they did put the H in. So
That is so funny. The man devoted an entire long post to reviewing it in a discussion thread on Peter David's old blog because he so wanted to share it with others. He loves this movie and he's totally trying to get you to review it with his insane reverse psychology ploy of his.
I had to ask him, is any of this true? And he reminded me there was kind of a troll on the web page, and I started doing this passive aggressive thing, hard to believe, of ignoring his points and just going into random movie reviews. And I guess I must have picked this one.
All right,
it's
thanks,
terrible.
Jerry.
Please,
and
thanks, Jerry.
Oh,
thanks for the.
But he did admit to the substitution of the word McMuffin for MacGuffin was an autocorrect, was an accident. He did not. Well, that was not making
mine
a
does
joke.
that all the time. Yeah, mine does.
Just remember, Jerry's always right, and if he's ever wrong, it's because of autocorrect.
Yeah, there we go. And lastly, we have one from Robert Baker. Chad?
Robert says, so this is one I saw back in the day, and back then I didn't think much of it. But after revisiting years later, my opinion has completely changed. I like how it was so different from the other big two of the time, The Howling and The American Werewolf in London. I believe the atmosphere, wonderful soundtrack, and great cast are a big part of the reason I still enjoy watching this one every once in a while. And much like with Maniac, Basket Case, and some of Fulci's films, as well as others, this is a New York that no longer exists. I still need to read the novel, though. I have a feeling there is more there that they just couldn't get on film. Oh, and for Crystal on Demonoid's opening not making sense for her.
Oh, wait a minute.
almost
Ignore
the
that.
same
Ignore
thing.
Wait a
that.
minute.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Wow, I was
that's
gonna
the
say-
exact
That's the
same
end.
thing.
He and Jerry think a lot alike.
Jerry had
Yeah.
2 comments on Wolfen, and so I spliced
No.
it in. And the first time
I was
spliced
going,
it
man,
in,
that-
I was
that-
like, "Where did
That
that
sounds
go?"
familiar.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I was hoping you would go through the whole thing. And like, wait a minute.
No, we ain't doing
No,
that. It's too
I'm mad
late.
enough that I only read 2 sentences.
It's 2 for that. All right. Thank you, Mr. Crumley or Ms. Crumley,
Yes.
Stuart Tyler, Retro Game Man, Dan, Jerry, Chandler, and Robert Baker. We appreciate your comments. Everybody else, you can write in and tell us why couldn't you figure that out? Here's what they were doing, stuff like that, and things we left out of Manhunter. Do you like Manhunter? How does that fit into the Hannibal Lecter movies?
What do you think of Crystal's imaginary blind girl theory?
Yeah, it's possible.
I'm sure I'm crazy. No,
That's
I'm
where,
sure
but
I'm
that's where you
crazy, but-
always go when it's a psychopath. When it's somebody that's psychotic in some way.
That's true.
My favorite line in the movie was when he's talking to him and he says, "No, I don't think I'm smarter than you." And he says, "Well, then how did you catch me? Because you have a disadvantage." "Well, what's my disadvantage?" "You're insane."
Yeah.
That was-
I did love that
a
whole
great-
interaction between
Mhm.
them, and it's funny. And I did love that him as Hannibal Lecter didn't react. He wasn't at all offended by that. He's like, "Well, touche, my friend, touche." Yeah,
All right.
I am insane.
Plenty of ways to stay in touch. You can leave comments on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel, or you can put it in an email to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com. We would appreciate that. We also have a Patreon group. If you want to become a Patreon member, I think it's only $2 a month. You will get Decades of Horror usually the day after we record it, rather than the usual 12 to 14 days before it goes public. And we also did a 21 episode podcast on Kolchak the Night Stalker, 1 for each episode and a roundup at the end. And that's available only on Patreon. And we are about to start a new one.
Mm-hmm.
We're diving into Night Gallery here in a couple of weeks, in a week, actually, I think
Ooh,
a week and a half.
that's fun.
So yeah, that will be fun. We're fired up about that. So yeah, join Patreon. And like, share, tell your friends if you know other horror fans and stuff about the podcast. We'd appreciate it. You can also, every one of these video episodes is also converted to audio only and is on regular podcast apps. All right, that's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up is one chosen by Crystal. What are we doing?
One I'm
Young lady?
surprised we haven't done, but is Poltergeist 2, The Other Side.
Well, we might have done, the other guys might have done it, but I didn't even look this time.
Oh.
The original group, we are now at
Jesus.
I think we have done as many as they did. 100.
Oh,
Our first one, I think, was 144 or 145, and we're on 290 something. So,
well, then, yeah.
Yay. That's awesome.
And we have to figure out what to do for episode 300. That's coming up soon. So
Oh, wow.
keep an eye out for that. Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the 1980s, as only Decades of Horror can do it. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.